Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Scarlet Hollow with me, Cornish-knight. Now, episode 2 has been released. I believe it's been out. I thought it was coming out on the 11th. I think that it got pushed back a little bit later than that. I'm not totally sure. But here we are now. So, the way that you play episode 2, rather than press start, is that you go to the load screen. You press the load. You basically open up the load screen and you select your save. And if you've done it correctly, you would have saved at the end of episode 1. So when you load up episode 1, it should take you straight into episode 2. Now I'm not going to show you my load screen because I've got several saves on there, and because I enjoy this game a lot. So I'm just going to put a quick cut in, and we should dive to the start of episode 2 with Jason. Here we are, folks. As you see, if you like to continue with this world state into episode 2, please save your game now. You open your eyes. The sun has risen, the birds are singing, you're still alive, and for now you are safe. Your gaze wanders across the room to the window and the woods beyond. You wonder if the monsters are lurking there, right now, just beyond the trees, ready to pounce as soon as you leave the crumbling estate. A familiar unease settles into your gut, tangling into a knot of anxiety, wriggling as the events of last night play out in your head. You can't help but remember the signs of pale faces jeering at you from the trees, their calls echoing through the woods as you ran for your life, and that is making reference to the ditchlings that we had an encounter with last night in episode 1. We managed to save our little doggy companion and her mistress, and make it back to civilization alive. I have said in playing, I've got a couple of other saves. I wanted to see the variation in the storytelling and the different options, and I'm pretty impressed. For such a small development team, the changes that your options have an impact on are quite noticeable, and especially some of the more esoteric traits that you can pick up, like a mystic and speak to animals, have quite an interesting impact. So I'd love to see what's happening with that. I might even do another let's play with different traits to show them off. Anyway, as you ran for your life, you're not sure if you ever feel okay again after what you've seen, but you can't stay in bed forever. Hunger pulls you from the clammy depths of the mattress, and at the end of episode 1, we returned here to sleep and to dream deep dreams. Who knows what we may encounter? Check on the possum. You open the drawers to check on the little possum you met yesterday. This is the possum we found as we were putting our clothes away. Oh good, it's still here. That's nice. Pat the little man's, leave the little man's in peace. Yeah, we're not going to pat the possum. Possums are, like, both quite vicious and I believe actually quite disease-carrying, so you probably don't want to touch them. Leave the little man's in peace. What's the harm in letting the little man continue to nestle in your clothes? Well, we didn't actually, if I remember directly, we didn't actually let him nestle in our clothes. He was sleeping. We put our clothes underneath him in a different drawer. At least your outfit from yesterday still smells pretty okay. Maybe no one will notice. Poke around the closet. Great, the doll didn't move during the night. Maybe it isn't haunted after all. For after everything you went through yesterday, that's hardly a consolation. Let's look out the window. You creep towards the window, careful not to be seen by whatever might be lurking in the garden. Okay, what's that? There's some kind of figure wearing a hood, just like looking at us. He has some kind of symbols on his jacket. I do not know, but he's just looking up at us from the window, from the garden. Yeah, now he's gone. For a second you thought you saw movement. It could have been an animal, it could have been something else. Whatever it was, it's gone now. Maybe you'll head out there and investigate after you've finished waking up. text Stella. It's probably a good idea to check in with your new friend. You can't imagine she's holding up very well. Well, it could be a lot worse. Yo, what up? Hey, how are you holding up? Hi, you send picture of tired cat that you found on the internet. Well, Jason is polite. Let's go with, hey, how are you holding up? It might take her a minute to get back to you. In the meantime, get dressed and head down to the kitchen. Time to start your day with a healthy breakfast. It's, well, peanut butter and jelly sound is probably not healthy. You're back in the kitchen. Frou-Frou eyes you from her favourite spot on the counter. You're back in the kitchen. The cat eyes you from her favourite spot on the counter. Excuse me, ma'am, but may I pet you? Pet the cat. Leave the cat be. We were told by our cousin that unless the cat wants to be pet, we should not disturb it. So let's ask politely. Cats are very noble creatures after all. I have to always ask that permission. Excuse me, ma'am, but may I pet your beautiful fur? Part of you hopes that the flattery might win her over. As silly as it may seem, you are after all talking to a cat. Frou-Frou merely flicks her tail faster. It doesn't look promising. Tabitha, hey. Your cousin walks in. You sure took your time getting up. Hey cuz, it's like 8 AM, which actually isn't really that early at all. There are monsters in the woods, we need to leave. I had a really rough night, can you cut me some slack? I'm sorry, what's the plan for the day? Let's go with, I had a really rough night, can you cut me some slack? Let's go with that. It's frankly a miracle I'm even up this early, or even bothering getting out of bed. Do you know there's a real actual monsters in the woods, you say? I'm sure Stella told you about those. What were they this time? Bigfoot, little green men, anyway. I'm late as it is, so listen up. I wanted to make sure I relayed this message in person, in case you decided to ignore my text again. I don't want any repeats of last night. From now on, no running around in the woods after dark. It's dangerous out there, and not because of monsters. You could fall down a cliff, you could get stuck in a hidden cave somewhere, you could get lost in the woods and never be found. Just because nothing happened here doesn't mean it's safe, and just because Stella spent a lot of time in the woods doesn't mean she'll keep you out of trouble. I want you home by sunset from here on out. What's up with you and Stella? Can I hang out with you today? I don't want to be myself. I don't understand what happened last night. You don't understand what happened last night was real. How dare you dismiss me like this? I'm sorry about last night. But what you're doing is unacceptable. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't need any convincing to stay put. So whatever, remain silent. What's up with you and Stella? You inquire. Tabitha looks sheepish. We just have a history, that's all. I don't need to explain myself to you. Let's go. Can I hang out with you today? I don't want to be by myself. Let's go with that one. At the mines? No, she says. You don't understand what happened last night. It was real. How dare you dismiss me like this? I'm sorry about last night, but what you're doing is unacceptable. Yeah, don't worry about it. I don't need any convincing to stay put. Let's go. You don't understand what happened last night was real. You're not listening to me. What I saw last night, it was real, and we have footage of it. Mentioned Sybil and ditchlings. Sybil said they were real too. She called them ditchlings and said they were a threat to the whole town. I'm going to stop you right now. You met Sybil? Of course, that nosy old crow would make a point of meeting any new person who wandered into town, mutters Tabitha. I wouldn't pay her too much mind. She would talk your ear off about the healing properties of crystals or magical essence of oregano or whatever. She and Stella are both a little kooky, if you ask me. Ditchlings. So sounds like some old-timey Appalachian stuff, all right. I'm late enough as it is. I'm going to work, and I expect to see you here at sunset. Tabitha takes a few steps towards the door. Sunset, she repeats. Your cousin huffily exits the kitchen. Her footsteps fade down the hall, ending in the characteristic creak of it slams the front door as it opens and closes behind her. Once again, you are only human in the estate. A text from Stella. Hey Jason, thanks for checking in. Hope you're alright. All things considered, I'm doing okay. Not great, but hanging in there. Up most of the night on cryptid forums, but no good answers yet. I am at the library if you want to join. I have some scones. Let's go with weekend scones, say no more, cool, I'm on my way. I'll be there in a bit, still waking up. After last night? Hell no. Scones were very nice. Scones say no more. Scones say no more. And that's that. Time to start your day. Let's make a PB&J. So Stella may have scones at the library, but scones are later. PB&J is now. You quickly scrape together the ingredients and gobble up a delicious breakfast. And that's that. Let's investigate the garden. As you eyed the wonders into the garden, you shudder, remembering the brief glimpse of something you saw from the upstairs window. It was probably just a raccoon, but uncertainty of what you saw gnaws at you and compels you to investigate, if only to prove that it was nothing. At the very least, you don't see anything now. Investigate further. You wander further into the garden, trying to pinpoint a spot where that thing would have been lurking. If indeed there had been a thing to begin with. Take it all in. The garden is peaceful, but undeniably eerie. Here, more than anywhere else, you are surrounded by the ghosts of what this place used to be. A greenhouse sits in the midst of the overwhelming greenery, unreachable from years of neglect. Its glass clouded and cracked. Statues reach out from within seas of weeds as if begging to be rescued. And the most strikingly, behind a pair of rusted metal gates at the very peak of the mountain sits a graveyard. You can make out a few of the headstones of the Scarlet name carved deep and proud into their faces. You notice what a good view someone would have of your window if they stood where you're standing right now. Check the ground for clues. You crouch down, pushing aside greenery and examining the soft earth. A boot print, a big boot print, and what looks like some kind of viscera. Your thoughts turn to the spectre from the night before. You snap a quick photo, just in case it comes in handy later. Text to Stella. You send the photo to Stella. Look what I found in the garden across from my window. No way, that's Tabitha's size. You head back inside, trying to figure out what you need to do with the rest of your day. Yep, well, let's head to town. Walk back to town is much less pleasant today than it was yesterday, when you didn't yet know that the woods were full of monsters and strange men who knew your name. You stare anxiously into the darkness between the trees, searching for any signs of movement, but the woods are still, at least for now. Continue down the path. The autumn-tinged mountains sprawling for miles in every direction now feel less like beautiful scenery and more like the walls of a cage. Your phone buzzes in your pocket. Geez, that's creepy. All the more reason to come to the library. Look what I found at the library. Said she was up all night thinking about the video. Added you to group text. Ah. It's her friend. Kinda cool. Whatever her name was. We'll find it. I can't remember her name. We'll find it again in a minute. Yeah. Kanaka. Kanika? Only here 'cause it's quiet. Then the store, or was, lol. I'm trying to figure out what animal that could be. I don't buy into this harbinger of doom stuff. We know what animals they are. They're ditchlings, and they are harbingers of doom. Sounds like they're having fun. Let's see. Dang, I need a scones on my way. Lol, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'll be there soon. Can't wait to solve this mystery. These things are not real. Stella, send a heart emoji. Let's go on my way. Or we can go lol, let's not get ahead of ourselves, I'll be there soon. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, I'll be there soon. Almost back to town. Continue down the path. You make it to town in one piece, no creatures jump out at you, no scary men block your path. The sight of other people is comforting, helping you forget the things you've witnessed as it happened to someone else. Oh hey Jason, says Avery as you walk through the street. He's the owner of the cafe here. And this is Kanika's mum, Sylvie. We were just talking about you. I stopped by Sylvie's to pick up her new tea blend, and well, you're the biggest thing to come into town since the coal mine. Folks have been absolutely buzzing about you. You went out with Stella last night, right? Did something happen out there? She barely even waved when she walked by. Let's see. Tell Avery the whole truth. Lie. Nothing really happened. I'm traumatized, not ready to talk about it yet. Jesus. Nosy much. I hardly know you. Yeah. Honesty is the best policy. So and I were out in the woods to try and find a skunk ape, but we ran into something far worse. Actual monsters. Sylvie said they called ditchlings, but whatever they are dozens of them, and they're mutilating the local wildlife. Whoa, slow down. You actually found something out there? I can corroborate. I may not have been out there with them, but I've seen the footage, and they encountered something otherworldly in the woods. Avery looks stunned. Well, whatever it has happened out there, you're clearly a little shaken up. Tell you what, I am on break for the next half an hour. How about you swing by the diner? Winnie can fix you some of Sylvie's new blend and try calm your nerves. It's chaga lemon balm. It will always help me on bad days. And if you need to talk to anybody, if you talk about it, I'm all ears, says Avery. Anyway, it's up to you. See you around, Jason. See you, Sybil. Take care, Avery. I've got an achievement, Confidant. Sylvie, I better get back to it myself. Confidant. Was it confident or confidant? I'm glad I was able to catch you this morning, if only to see how you were holding up. Please don't hesitate to stop by if I can help. If I can be of any help. Let's go with... Thanks, Sylvie. Wait, do you know anything else about ditchlings? Why doesn't anyone in this town seem to know or care that the woods are full of monsters? What's wrong with the people here? No, let's go with this one, because this seems like the most reasonable thing to say. Why doesn't anyone in the town seem to know or care about the woods full of monsters? People tell a lot of stories up in the hills, especially city folk who wouldn't know a bear from Bigfoot. No offence, of course. But I'm afraid this means most folks aren't going to take your claim very seriously, at least not until they see what you saw with their own eyes. But be gentle with them, Jason. I'm so sorry to cut a conversation short, but I've got things that need tending to. Stay safe and God bless. You probably have a bit of time before you need it at the library. Swing by the diner, swing by the general store. Let's swing by the general store first. This is the first time seeing a general store in the light of day. A young man sits at the table by the register, too preoccupied with his phone to care that you stepped in. Explore. You should leave town. There's monsters in the woods. Explore. Hi, I'm Jason. Explore. If I wanted to buy chips or something, do I talk to you or... You ask. He sighs. I guess, yeah. Kanaka decided to skip work today, so of course whatever plans I had don't matter. Just take the chips, I don't care. Wouldn't that be stealing? If Kanaka cares about running this place right, she can hire someone else and let me live my life. She inherited the store, and I don't want to keep getting sucked into working here just because I'm her brother. We make most of our money on bulk orders anyway. A bag of chips doesn't make a difference. I'm paying for my chips. I insist. I'm not ringing you up, take them or leave them. I'm not going to steal, you say. Have it your way. Let's go with... Yeah, hi, I'm Jason. No, I don't think Jason would say that. Like, you should leave town. He probably wouldn't say you leave town as monsters in the woods, because everyone he's done that to thinks he's mad. What you're doing on your phone. I don't think he would say that either. No, let's explore the options. Let's go with hi, I'm Jason. There's no problem being polite. Hi, I'm Jason. Just got into town yesterday. Yeah, I know. Mum told me. What's your name? You say as you browse through the goods. Miles. What you doing on your phone? Game, you probably haven't heard of them. See you, Miles. Let's go with that. Miles doesn't respond as you turn to leave the general store. Just browsing achievement unlocked. Fantastic. Miles didn't respond as you turn and leave the general store. Let's go to the diner. You head towards the diner. The diner is a little quieter today, but the air is still heavy with tantalizing smells of breakfast. The diner is a little quieter today, but the air is tantalizing breakfast. This is the thing. Like, I don't think Jason's the kind of bloke that's just going to walk into somewhere and say warn patrons of the danger, especially since most people have told him that they would just think he's nuts. Talk to Avery. Let's talk to Avery. You slid into a booth across from Avery. Hey there, stranger. I've got another achievement. Coffee date. Before you can exchange words, Winnie slides up, a fresh mug of tea in hand. Hey, might need this. The answer is 29 down. The answer to 29 down is oink, by the way. What? But the clue is pen sound. How is that the sound a pen makes? Wait, pen like pig pen? Are you kidding me? How was I supposed to guess that? He mutters. I don't know why you even bother with those things. They're just going to frustrate you, says Winnie. It's just something to do with the field of time. But maybe I'll switch to Sudoku. Winnie leaves Avery contemplating daily newspaper puzzles, returning to her seat behind the counter. So, what the hell happened last night? You can tell me, I won't judge. We can try the tea. What if you don't believe me? Explore, flirt. I could guess we could chat about last night, but I actually came here because I wanted to get to know you. Let's go with try the tea. You hastily take a sip of the tea. It tastes like you're drinking mold that someone tried to unsuccessfully spruce up with lemon balm. Tastes healthy. Take another sip. Take another sip. The flavour is strong and slightly unpleasant, but something that tastes this bad must be good for you. Whoa, not a lot of folks take chaga so quickly. Take chaga so quickly. It's a fungus that grows on a birch tree around here. Supposedly super healthy. It makes for a challenging drink. Colour me impressed. What if you don't believe me, you say? I could tell you about last night, but what if you don't believe me? I'm not here to judge, I'm here to listen, says Avery. Tell Avery about last night. You spill the beans, glad to have someone to talk to about the horrors you witnessed. Whoa, that is some heavy stuff, says Avery. No wonder Stella seemed distant. Monsters in the woods. I may not have lived here long, but I never heard of anything like that happening around these parts. I can't say I like the thought of it. I hadn't pegged you as a transplant. Where are you from? Let's go. There, we could do powerful build-ups, and I'm not going to let anything happen to you or this town. Yeah. I have the powerful build option, and I try and aim for these while I can. Let's first do explore options first. I didn't peg you as a transplant. Where are you from? I moved here from Charlotte. Guess 3 years ago. Oh, Charlotte. Sorry, from Charlotte. Gosh, 3 years ago now, maybe a little more. I've lost track. Aunt Winnie offered me a place to stay and a job, and who was I to pass on that sort of generosity? To be honest, it still feels like I just moved in. Practically everyone apart from the coal folk grew up in this town, so it's like I'm a perpetual new kid. Don't get me wrong, folks here are plenty polite and friendly, but there's a sad history I'll never be part of. Whoa, there's a lot of things popped up. Explore a keen eye. Maybe you're more at home here than you think. Maybe more at home here than you think. Stella really talked up your party yesterday. I didn't think she had done that if she didn't think you were really part of the town. It could be that you're just getting in. It could be that you're just in your head about fitting in. Hey now, thanks. I didn't actually think about it like that. Do you regret moving here? You see that his aunt looks sober now. I don't think I ever had a choice to have second thoughts. I'm not going anywhere without Auntie Winnie, and there's no way she's leaving this place. Why you leave Charlotte? You don't mind me asking. Nah, it's cool. I was having some issues with my folks about my education, which wasn't great, especially since I was still stuck under their roof. When my aunt heard about it, she offered me a job and a place to stay, and the rest is history. Let's go with the powerful build-ups, and I'm not going to let anything to happen to you or this town. I know that everything I told you about last night was a lot, but I'm not going to let anything happen to you or the town. We're on the case. Thanks, Jason. I'm not typically one to get worried, but that's especially true if someone like you is around. Ah man, looks like my shift is starting. I hope you're doing a bit better. Maybe the Chaga's had a chance to start working its magic. I'm going to keep my ears open for you. The diner is where everyone comes to gossip, so I hear a lot about what's going on around here. I'll let you know if anyone mentions those monsters or anything else strange or unusual. Avery slips off the table, out of the booth, gives a friendly halfway before disappearing into the back. You leave the diner ready to continue your day. Head to the library. You enter the former town hall. What once must have been a stately foyer has since been converted into a row of cells. Meeting rooms and offices long ago gave way to assorted reference collections and reading areas. Oh hey, you made it, says Stella, over in the corner. Ah, with her little dog. I'm glad we saved the dog. Settle in with Stella and Kanaka. says Stella and point at all the books before heading over to the table. Settle in with Stella and... Sorry, Kanika. Kanika? Yeah, Kanika. Head over to Stella and Kanika's table and settle in. You got it. You made it. Glad you could join us. Kanika. Morning, Jason. You look tired. Snits on Miles. Who's Miles again? Yeah, the estate isn't the easiest place to get a good 8 hours. It was hard to fall asleep last night, all things considered. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I'm pretty amped up, actually. I've never done a Scooby-Doo before. You can't tell someone they look tired. Snitch on Miles. Nah, that's not my place. But it's actually a business. Yeah. Let's go with the straight. It was hard falling asleep last night, all things considered. Yeah, it was pretty hard to fall asleep at night, all things considered. You can see Stella change. Little dog. I can't say, got a wink myself. Yeah, same. Anyways, I guess we should get started. Oh, says Stella. Before I forget, we've got to talk about that photo you sent me this morning. Kanika, check this out. Jason found it in Tabby's garden this morning, right in line on the side of his room. What in the world is that liquid around it? It looks like pus. Do you think it's Wayne? Those boots are too big to be Tabitha's. I can't say I'm thrilled at the thought of someone watching my room. I don't know if there's some connection here, but it felt worth bringing up. Don't know if this is a connection to what happened in the woods, but it felt worth texting Stella about. Do you think it's Wayne? Do you think it's Wayne, you would say? That creep who keeps coming around my mum's tea house? I think it's mum's tea room, says Kanika. He snuck up on us last night and called out Jason by name, and those boot prints match up with the mining get-up. Whoa, apparently I missed a lot last night, says Kanika. I wonder if there's any connection between that guy and what happened in the woods last night, adds Stella. Like what? I mean, I don't know anything specific, but we do have the whole prophecy of impending doom angle to explore, and this photo is weird. I can't stop thinking about those splatters on the ground. If he's sick, maybe it's from the creature you encountered. Hey there, stranger. Oh, hey there, strangers, says the man as he walks over. And literal stranger. Introduce yourself. I was always taught to be polite. Hey, I'm Jason, Tabitha's cousin. I'm in town for the funeral. Ah, I should have known you were Scarlet. You look so much like, Vivian. Not that I knew her very well. I was still a little kid when she left. But that Scarlet resemblance, it's strong. I'm Oscar Gutzrezer. Let's call it Oscar, the chief librarian and only librarian. Oscar's amazing. He practically built this library from scratch. Yeah, I'm a little jealous what the kids around here get to grow up with. They don't know how good they have it. Back when I was in elementary school, all the library had was a couple of cells of boring books donated by old people. Oscar chuckles. You're all too kind. But speaking of kids, have either of you seen Rosalina around town? I don't want to be the helicopter dad, but she didn't come home last night, and I wanted to make sure she isn't getting into trouble out there. You know, the crowd she hangs around with. They're good kids at heart. I'm sure they're just up at the old Maxwell place doing teen stuff, says Stella. I went up there plenty times in my day, but I'll be sure to keep my eyes peeled. What's the old Maxwell place? You say. It's this great old abandoned spot. We used to hang out there when we were teens. Kanika, I can't believe I used to be so reckless. The floors there were like Swiss cheese. Oscar, I should really have a talk with Rosalina when she gets home. I don't like the thought of teens getting up to mischief if all those ditchlings are in the woods. Let's just be brutally honest, like, I don't like the idea of teens getting up to mischief if all those ditchlings in the woods. Ditchlings, says Oscar. And that's actually why we came today. Have you ever heard of them? They're cryptid, and seeing one's supposed to mean a disaster around the corner. The disaster's around the corner. Oscar, doesn't ring a bell. Dang, worth a shot. Okay. If you were, say, trying to predict a horrible disaster that might befall our town, where would you start looking? Oscar thinks a second. Well, they say history repeats itself, so I'd probably try and figure out what sort of disaster this region typically falls prey to. Should I be worried about something? He adds. I don't know yet. I'll be right back. Gonna go and nab some more books. Stella, behave while I'm gone, Gretchen. Ah, Gretchen. Oh, don't have to worry about her, Stella. You're such a good dog, aren't you, Gretchen? Here, have a biscuit. Good girl. Have a biscuit, old girl. Gretchen inhales the soft biscuit, drool leaking from her toothless mouth as she swallows it whole. I'm pretty sure Stella's barking up the wrong tree, Oscar. I don't think you have to worry about horrible calamities befalling the town. But she's right about the weird stuff. There's definitely something unusual going on out in the woods. I don't believe in this supernatural stuff, but the woods aren't safe. It's nothing that we can't get to the bottom of. Whatever's out in those woods has been brutalizing local wildlife. Now, let's just be honest. Like, the thing is, like, people don't believe us, but if we tell enough people, someone will believe us. Whatever's out in the wildlife has been brutalizing local wildlife. Whatever's out in the woods has been brutalizing local wildlife. I don't think it's safe. I'm gonna call Rosalina again. I'm sure she's fine, really. Rosalina's a smart kid. She knows better than to go around getting into trouble. And we make sure to keep our eyes peeled. Thanks, Kanika. And Jason, if you see a 13-year-old girl with a black braid and glasses, would you tell would you let her know that her dad is worried about her? Oscar anxiously wanders off, phone in hand. Gotham, describe the whole mess of local books, says Stella as she comes wandering back towards the table. And that, folks, is where we are going to call it for today's episode. The first look at Chapter 2 of the Scarlet Hollow. And I've been really looking forward to this game. I suggest you guys check it out on Steam. I'll put a link in the description below. And I'll see you all again next time as we continue the story of what becomes of Jason Scarlet in the Scarlet Hollow. Goodbye.